This is so crazy. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Okay. Excuse the glasses. I just woke up. I'm kind of tired and had to give me something to eat before I do this. I know right off the bat, some of y'all may asking like, why is this dude in the bathroom in the tub doing this video? But I don't know if you can hear, but I got neighbors on the both sides of this crappy motel that I'm in, and they're like really, really loud. So the bathroom is the quietest place. And it's also the cleanest place. Like the living area, the beds and stuff is terrible and it's filthy. And the bathroom is clean, which probably tells me that a lot of people don't wash their tails. But let me tell you why I am in this crappy motel. I had to finally have enough courage and enough faith to come on here and do this, because if anybody knows me, I hate being in the center of attention. I hate the spotlight and all that stuff. But the Lord say, you know, come on the camera and post it on the internet, probably post it on YouTube, and tell them what I'm gonna tell you to say, you know. But again, it's been 3 years. He told me 3 years ago to come on here and do this. But let me tell you why I am in this crappy motel. Okay, but 3 years ago, I remember it being like late November 2019. And a guy, he came up to me that I know well. He said he wanted to start making music and all that, and he wanted me to help him. I said, that's great, you know. I can tell he was very enthusiastic about it. I always wanted to be in show business too. So I was working a job that I kind of didn't like. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna produce my own stuff. I got a little money and I'm gonna produce my own stuff. And this dude that I was going to hire to be in my you know, my little thing I was doing, he actually died that day, that same day. And I've been trying to get in touch with him for like maybe a year, but I just never did, you know, because I was back and forth. And I was like, wow, Lord, that's like a blow. Like, what am I supposed to do now? Like, so Lord was like, you know, just keep writing. So December of that same year, 2019, he said, AJ, quit your job. I was like, quit my job? That's kind of weird. Like, you know, why would I do that? So, but of course I didn't, because I was like, that's crazy, that's weird. So January of 2020, I was like, Lord, I really need a new car. Just like out the blue, I was like, I really, really need a new car. Because he was like, AJ, like, what you telling me for? Just like, go get it. So I went there, got a new car, was in and out, literally like an hour. It was like, almost like God ordained. So within that week, when I had the new car, he was like, okay, AJ, now quit your job now. I was like, for real? I ain't about to like quit my job. I just got a new car. Why would I quit? How else am I supposed to pay for it? So February, literally almost a week, it was 1 month, almost a week that I had to pay my first car note, totaled my car. So the Lord told me again, okay, AJ, now it's time to quit your job. I was like, okay, maybe you are trying to tell me something. But I was like, Lord, just let me find another job before I quit this job. So June of 2020 that year, since I didn't quit, I got fired from my job. And even though it was just, you know, kind of messy, best thing that ever happened to me, because I really did want to leave. Even though I didn't want to quit because I was dependent on the money, it really was one of the best things that happened to me. But that same month, I was being sued for the car crash, right? I think I was being sued for $50,000. But of course it was an accident, you know. I wasn't being negligent. I wasn't on my phone. I was just, you know, it was just truly an accident. But the Lord was like, AJ, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, nothing. Don't worry about anything at all. So that's what I did. I got the letter in the mail saying I was going to be sued, and I just didn't worry about it. And in August of 2020, it got settled, right? So the lawsuit got settled. I didn't have to pay anything. Now it's November 2020, and the Lord said, okay, now it's time to leave your church. Now, I've been in my church for like over 20 years, since I was like 5 years old, right? So I was like, leave my church. Okay, it was one thing for me to quit my job, but now you telling me to leave my church? Okay, but since I didn't leave my church, some stuff that had been going on for years, I got involved with it. And it just got too out of hand, and it got messy. And me as a person, I don't like to deal with mess or confrontation. So I was telling everybody, okay, we need to fix this. Going forward, we need to fix this. But nobody wanted to fix it. Everybody just wanted to, pray and sweep it under the rug. But since nobody wanted to fix it, I left. And to be perfectly honest, it might seem kind of strange, but I don't miss going back there. Not to say, well, first of all, let me say this. I didn't quit the church. I didn't quit the big C. I quit the little C. I've been in church all my life. Ain't nobody gonna stop me from going to church. I just don't go to that church anymore. So now it's January of 2021. And I have no job and no church. So basically, I'm just living off my savings. In the meantime, still just kind of sort of finding a job. Nobody was really hiring, or they wouldn't hire me per se. Like, I would put in the application, and they wouldn't like call me back. When I say nobody. So I'm like, okay, maybe God is doing something. Maybe he is trying to tell me something, because ain't no way in the world. I got job experience and nobody is trying to hire me. Even though now I'm like living off my savings, it wasn't enough for me to like move from home, because at that time I didn't have a car again. And I was like, okay, now moving away from home, that's kind of risky, financially and stuff. So basically, like all of the year 2021, the Lord was like, AJ, leave. AJ, leave. AJ, leave. You have to go now. So now I'm like, okay, Lord, where am I going to go? I don't have a job. I don't have a car. I don't have a home to myself. Like, what am I going to do? And he kept repeating the same thing. AJ, leave. AJ, leave. AJ, leave. And it would be like little stuff start to happen. Like every time I would try to do something, it would just like literally end in disaster, like worse than before. But of course I didn't listen. I was being disobedient again. So when the summer of 2020, and like I think it was like
Actually, it was May of 2021.
I actually got my credentials to be a city firefighter. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is the Lord. Like he is blessing me, even though he told me to leave. Maybe he like changed his mind. Maybe I like wore him down. He saw, he saw my condition. He took pity on me. He felt bad for me. So it started off with like 80 some people, and it doing it down to 4. So I'm technically still one of the 4. So over the rest of the year, they will call, like a liaison will call me and tell me, are we still trying to get the paperwork? We still trying to get stuff situated, yada, 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 but are you still interested? I said, yeah, I'm still interested. I done went through all that, all that stuff, to not, like turn it down, because I barely passed everything. I barely passed the test. I barely passed the medical, the psyche, the physical test, because it was a lot. It really was a lot. So technically, I'm still waiting. 1 year later, I'm still waiting on them to call me back and say, hey, are you still interested? So then I asked the Lord, like, okay, Lord, like I thought that was you. Like, I thought you blessed me with like this firefighter thing after, all this time not getting anything or being hired or even being called back, for an interview or whatever. He was like, all that stuff I allowed to happen, but you still was dependent on a job and you was not dependent on me. So now it's July 2022. Today is the 3rd, and I just literally packed some clothes into a suitcase and just left. And I left home, didn't really tell anybody. It was just a normal Sunday when everybody in the house went to church, everybody home went to church. And I usually always had watched, like even at the church I was at, I was still, watching online services of somebody else's services. Because again, I love church. And I just packed up some stuff and left. And when everybody came home, my brother and my mom and dad texted me like, "Where are you?" And I told them, I just had to get away for a while. And most people think I'm crazy. Like, I don't know what my family is, but I don't know. They think I'm like suicidal or something. I'm not suicidal. I'm not. I'm fine. I am okay. I just need some space. Because if I don't have any space, I might be homicidal. And why is it that when people feel like you're not doing what they want you to do, that it's the devil? No, it's not no devil, it's you. And I told them that I had to get away, because that's what the Lord told me to do. He said, "AJ, leave." And did I mention I hate this? I really hate doing this. I do not want to do this at all. And that's another reason why I couldn't leave home, is because most of my stuff is there. All my clothes, all my art, and my personal belongings. But I did manage to grab a few books. Of course, I read my Bible because I read my Bible every day. But I'm reading From the Trash Man to the Cash Man by Myron Golden, which is very good. Helped me a lot in this season. I'm reading Don't Drop the Mic by Bishop, always a favorite. And right now I'm reading Crazy Faith by Pastor Michael Todd. And I'm on chapter 1, and chapter 1 is called Baby Faith. And it's a little bit scary. No, it's very scary. But that's baby faith, I guess. And that's why I booked this crappy motel, because I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. I mean, I got a little bit of savings, but like after that, I don't really have anything else. I don't know if I should go back home. I don't know if I'm going back home. My mom and daddy was like, "Well, we family, we can help you through it," but that's the thing, y'all can't help me. Because when something happens, it's always me to pick up the slack. Oh, let AJ fix it. Let AJ give you some money. Let AJ figure it out. But I don't know if I'm going back, because every time that I would go back, the same stuff was happening. And I'm just tired of the same cycle over and over again, going through the same stuff over and over again. But I'm here and I'm like, okay, Lord, like, what are we gonna do now? But leaving my job again, actually getting fired from my job, just leaving my church, I don't really regret it, but like leaving my niece, that's the only reason why I stayed so long, because I got a niece who basically I have raised. Like, she's almost like my firstborn. She's not, but she's almost like she is. And I don't want to like feel that she's abandoned. But if the Lord told me to go away for a while, then probably gonna take care of her. I just pray that he takes care of her. I mean, I'm almost 30 years old. I'm almost 30. I'm a grown man, so I gotta figure my life out. And it's hard, like being a man. It's hard to admit that, like learning how to take care of yourself. And I'm kind of embarrassed to say that. Like, I'm really embarrassed to say this, but I'm like 30 years, almost 30, 29, and I don't have anything. But the reason why I don't have anything, again, to be honest, is that I tried to do what I want to do, and I wanted God to bless it, basically. So he was like, AJ, you got two options. You either do what I tell you to do, or you cannot do what I tell you to do. But what's not an option is that you're not going to do what you want to do. So whatever you do, you basically going to do it on your own. And you're going to see if you can do it without me or not. Well, the Holy Ghost was like, AJ, go online and start making videos. And I'm like, okay, Lord, what I'm going to make videos for? Like, I don't have a job, you know, left my home, don't have a church home, don't have any money, barely have any savings left. Why am I going online to make some videos? Don't you care about, you know, this other stuff that I don't have? But he was like, AJ, go online, start making videos. And if I would have done this like 3 years ago, like he told me, ain't no telling me where I would have been. I know I would have probably been, no, I know for sure I would have been a lot further along. I probably would have been making videos from, I don't know, Italy, which I always wanted to go, instead of making these videos in this crappy inn. I'm here praying for some stuff that I need God to do by the end of this week. And I know that's not fair to put an ultimatum on God, like, God, if I do this, then you need to do this, because, you know, he's been telling me to do this for a long time, so I don't think that's fair. And quite frankly, he's a God, so he really don't have to do anything I ask him to do. But if he would be so kind. But again, just in case he don't, I guess I'm just still be doing this, making videos with nothing. All of that was probably verbose and excessive, but I guess what I'm really trying to say is that when God tell you to move, you only have an interval of time to do it. You only have a short amount of time to do it, because when I think back on some of those stuff, if I would have done what he said in the first place, then I wouldn't have been in that position for everything to mess up. And you cannot worry about and take advice, especially take advice from people who not even headed in the same direction as you. And you don't need nobody else to co-sign for your calling. I think that's it, right, Lord? Is that it? Because I'm ready to stop this now. Pray for me. I'll pray for y'all. Hopefully I'll see y'all next time. Be blessed.